Good morning to you, Arua. Good morning to you, West Nile. Good morning to you, Uganda. Good morning, East Africa, Africa, and the whole world. You're welcome to the morning sports. We call it the Boom Sports on Rhino TV, where you yesterday probably enjoyed and gave us feedback, and we appreciate all that. In the very first place, I want to say thank you very much for always being with Rhino TV, the best online TV that you can ever get and probably enjoy all the way from West Nile. Ochiba Coastal Town in particular is where you can actually find us, and in case of adverts or anything you want to run with us or business, you can actually find us within Ochiba Coastal Town. I want to thank you very much for the second time. I feel privileged that you were able to give us all those feedbacks. In case there's a problem with the sound, you have an issue, maybe something as you view the show, you can easily drop us the feedback so that we can connect and make it probably a better show, probably the best, if I may say. You call me KIMNAZZ. Many will prefer calling me Atinga for the people, but KIMNAZZ is my name. Going straight to our Boom Sports today, in the absence of Walter Bazali, who is missing again today. Yesterday he actually surfaced, he was around, but today I can tell you, and towards the close of the show yesterday I did tell you that he will actually be taken away by some official duty, and today it is actually turning out to be true. Meanwhile, Otelul Vegas also is for an official duty, but hopefully anytime soon they will be joining me for the Boom Sports and we'll be running the show together. But that in any way does not stop me probably from running the show. Quite a number of big talking points are coming through right in the Boom Sports this very morning, and I want to tell you that we'll be running this show up to exactly 10 minutes past 11 a.m. That's when we'll close down the show. But for now, let's get straight to business. We'll start it from local. Remember, we capture local, national, and international scenes all together, and that's why we call ourselves the Boom Sports. We look at all angles. This morning, we'll have to actually start it right away with Midigo Calvary. A lot of things are happening at the club. Remember the pandemic. Yes, the pandemic did make sure that the leagues in the country, probably some were cancelled, some did go to up to the end, and others did not come to completion. But FIFA Big League went almost 75 or 80%. Yeah, but the regular season came to an end. That was the regular season where at least all the fixtures in the group were being played. I feel it was a good thing. But at the end of the day, Midigo Calvary, the team that I want us to look at, probably digest this morning, they have confirmed probably a kind of renovation. There's activity going on. They are working on their home stadium, that is Kasiano Stadium, that is in Yumbe district. Last season, Midigo Calvary did play their games at Ababet Greenlight Stadium, the home of Onduparaka Football Club. 3 seasons ago, we did see, after Paida Black Angels made it through to the StarTimes Uganda Premier League, they had no option to use Barakoro Stadium, but they had to zero it down to also Ababet Greenlight Stadium. You saw what exactly happened. It was quite a very difficult time for them. Remember, that was a particular time. That was a time when the issues of the pandemic, that is COVID-19, wasn't this tense. Actually, it wasn't there. Yeah, it wasn't there yet. Not even China was experiencing the pandemic yet, that is COVID-19. But it was quite difficult for the Paida Black Angels fans. We know Paida Black Angels fans for being the most passionate in the whole of the country, in the whole of East Africa. Paida Black Angels do have the most passionate fans, but they found it quite difficult to actually travel for the games here and there. Remember the expense that you're going to incur on the road, the transport and all that. It made life so difficult for Paida Black Angels. So that in turn made them to get relegated. So it probably wasn't a good one for West Nile or the entire country, because we know Paida Black Angels for being that team much followed within and as well with the region. Talking about Paida Black, Calvary, the team that I want us to digest. They played last season at Ababet Greenlight Stadium. The good part for them probably was that the fans were not allowed to travel. Remember, the pandemic hit so hard that the fans, probably there were restrictions put in by the federation and as well the health ministry that no fan was supposed to be in attendance. I think that played it so positive for them, because the teams that they also faced in their away games were not able to have fans in the stadium, though there were some cases which were registered. But I can tell you it played a positive part for that is Calvary's survival in the StarTimes FUFA Big League. Now, what exactly am I trying to talk about here? I'm talking about their home ground, that is Kasiano Stadium. This time down, Midigo Calvary, are coming up with they're working. There's work in progress right there at Kasiano Stadium. What does that mean? It means Calvary is now thinking of having the coming season, or the forthcoming season, at their home ground. How easy and fine is it going to be for them? How soon are they going to complete the work that they're doing at Kasiano Stadium? Remember, you have the perimeter fence to work on. You have the playground. Of course, the play surface, the turf to work on. The grass has to be green. Of course, the inspection team will obviously come and assess. But I can tell you it's quite a very good idea from the management of Midigo Calvary to have their games in Yumbe. Yeah, you never know, the pandemic might go down. At the end of the day, the fans will be allowed back into the stadium. So what will it mean? It will mean that the fans, remember, some of the clubs, actually we do have clubs within the country who do get their revenues probably from the gate collection. So Calvary, Paida was one. Calvary is another. Yeah, Calvary is another. So they expect to have the fans probably in the stadium. They expect to get the gate collection. It's actually to bring in the revenue. They expect to have even to sign some players, and for these some of the players to be appreciated. This cannot come if they still continue to play at Ababet Greenlight Stadium amidst the pandemic, where life is quite hard. The fans may find it quite difficult to be traveling for all these games. Yeah, to be actually they will find it very hard. So at the end of the day, it comes back to how ready the pitch is going to be for this forthcoming league. Otherwise, it's a good move under the stewardship of Dudu Bosco. Still, I don't know how tactically they're going to be working on, probably to if there's going to be a kind of reshuffle, because they did let go of course one of their their head coach, but then Ahmed Borini did resign. Yeah, he resigned his position as the head coach. Then Dudu Bosco, who was the technical director by then, was installed as the head coach to work with Jarul, who was the assistant to Ahmed Fabio Borini. So I don't know whether there's going to be a reshuffle, but I think the best time, probably if there to be changes, the best time is now. Looking at Dudu Bosco's statistics and the helm, in 4 games, yeah, he did pick a win against Gaddafi. Then the game against Arua Hill proved too tough. They lost it at home at Ababet Greenlight Stadium. Then they went for an away game, which they also lost. 3 games, 1 win. Yeah, so actually 2 wins. 4 games, 2 wins, 2 losses. They did beat by the Black Angels. So that played it so good for their chances of survival in the StarTimes FUFA Big League. So the forthcoming season, there are rumors that some of their star players have been linked with moves away. More especially, the shirt number 14, Junior Junino, is been linked with the move away from Midigo Calvary. So how are they going to deal with that situation is yet probably a big talk for another day. Otherwise, moving away from the Midigo Calvary story, but then the biggest thing that I wanted to bring to your attention about Calvary is that they are working on their home ground, that is Kasiano Stadium, and you're getting this live from Rhino TV. KIMNAZZ remains my name. Let's move away from that, and this time round talk about Arua Hill Sports Club. Yesterday, papers were writing that former KCCA head coach Mike Hilary Mutebi is house hunting in West Nile. What is this all about? Because there's ardent that there's no smoke with there's no smoke without fire. If we are to go by that, then it means we are going to get much more confused, because there is also a talk of Charles Livingston Mbabazi returning to West Nile, and this time in the red half, that is with the Leopards. Yeah, with the Leopards, and that is Arua Hill Sports Club. How good is this going to be? What is the situation like, and how is all this going to be harmonized or handled? Rumors are telling that Mike Hilary Mutebi did put in some conditions. Remember, I also did interview him in one of the radio shows within West Nile, particularly on Arua 1 FM, where he clearly stated that if The conditions are good. The structures are fine. He's allowed to work with the young boys, and things are put in the right place. Probably hierarchy is respected. Flow of information is perfect. Then he is ready to actually bend down and look into this big project at Arua Hill Sports Club. He also did give probably a praise to the boss of the club. That is the businessman, engineer Aita Joel. He clearly stated that he seems to be an ambitious man. I think that is what the man Mike Hilary Mutebi, some of the conditions he actually did put in, and actually went on to dropping a huge praise for engineer Aita Joy. But then the question now is, how good or probably comfortable with will Mike Hilary Mutebi be at Arua Hill Sports Club? If you look at some of the players right now at Arua Hill, you will think that Mike Hilary Mutebi, with the history, probably it's on record that he loves working with young boys, you will think that some players won't actually be in his plans. Samson Cesar Okuti, he worked with Samson Cesar Okuti, the captain of the side, a very good player, actually the most decorated player West Nile has ever produced, by the way. I can say that, most decorated. He has moved, he has seen the world, he's very experienced. I don't know what plans they have as a club for Samson Cesar Okuti, whether he's going to be adopted into the backroom staff. I really don't know. Age is catching up with him, but a very good figure to have in the team. They worked with Mike Hilary Mutebi. So what does that mean? It means probably the chemistry will be there in case Mike, I'm just looking at one angle yet. Leave alone Charles Livingston Babazi, we'll be talking about that later on. But for now, if the talk is about Mike Hilary Mutebi, then it means you have Samson Cesar Okuti, who is likely going to be, maybe he has one season to play, then he's adopted into the back room. Then you have quite a number of players, aging players. Mike Hilary Mutebi will not want to work with them. Leko Alfred, a very good player. This season he has actually been a revelation, by the way. He played a huge part in the promotion of the team to the StarTimes Uganda Premier League, that is Arua Hill Sports Club. So how is the team going to look at him in case Mike Hilary Mutebi comes through? What about some of the aging players you have in the team? You have Mike Kawoya, you have Agre Chiria, you will talk about Mohamed Rashid, who has been rock solid with Mike Kawoya in that backline, very aggressive, two figures. Then you're going to talk about now here is another side of the angle where Mike Hilary Mutebi will find it very, very soft and smooth to work with the boys. You have Jaden, a very young boy, very talented. This season he was one of the best players. Of course, you have Adebrian. Yes, Adebrian, who was actually at the verge of signing for KCCA. He's right there. So Mike Hilary Mutebi will love to work with such a player. Then you have a player like Kawawa Olu. Very fantastic young boy, very aggressive. He knows the picture, but he draws the picture of tomorrow like in his side. He knows what exactly he wants to do. Technically, he's gifted. These are the kind of players that, of course, you have Telvin, another, of course, a Kenyan player, Kelvin, who plays for Arua Hill. Fantastic player. I think at the end of the day, Mike Hilary Mutebi will love those young boys probably to work with them. Yakini has been fantastic this season. I think it will be good to have such players. And then Mike Hilary Mutebi, I personally feel if he comes to Arua Hill, he will have probably to bring in some players. Remember, he has a contingent, probably a group of young boys that he will always entrust. At KCCA, we saw how he actually let go some of the star players like Joseph Ochayas. He made them go, knowing that you have a certain Mustafa Chiza he was grooming through the ranks. Then he had Alan Okello, very fantastic. Of course, it entrusted him with the job. At the end of the day, he will be the Sadat Anakus of this world. He will sell a big name striker to accommodate a young boy. That is what Mike Hilary Mutebi can do. What about Charles Livingston Babazi? I think if Charles Livingston Babazi comes, like yesterday we did hint on a talk. Of course, some papers or tabloids also did write about him. Also, of course, that to me tells a lot. If you see the picture of Mike Hilary Mutebi, you will get to understand that there are some dots which just needs to be rearranged or else lined together to come up with something. Why am I saying this? Mike Hilary Mutebi, I mean not Mike Hilary Mutebi, I'm talking about Charles Livingston Babazi. Charles Livingston Babazi worked with 80% of those players at Arua Hill Sports Club. Mention them. He worked with with Samson Cesar Okuti. Yeah, he worked with Richard Anyama. He worked with He worked with, that is, of course, Mohamed Rashid. Actually, has been his handbag or right hand, handbag. Yeah, he has been carrying him alone wherever he goes. Bida Ezra, who currently is still a Chetume player, but I'm meant to understand his contract is going down and probably is likely not to renew. So that also means there's a possibility or a chance of him signing for Arua Hill. Then you'll have Charles Livingston Babas is still renewing their friendship, probably their love with the likes of Kakoza. You mentioned them. He worked with Agau Rashid at some point, Samson Sizo Kuti at some point. You'll mention those names. So at the end of the day, somebody will also picture and say, Agri was brought to Arua. I think also worked with him at Onduparaka Football Club. I think there's a picture of what is going to happen next in case Charles Livingston Babazi comes through. Who is that player who is going to leave? Who is that technical gifted player like Gaddafi Gadino is going to keep? Who are some of those players is going to let go? So at the end of the day, it brings in a very good, angle of discussion for you, the viewer out there. But as you keep viewing, as you keep following us, we also want to say that you can advertise with us. Don't forget to do that. It's always very, very simple. Away from the Arua Hill Sports Club talk, after letting go of their head coach, that is Joseph Harold Mutiaba, we did see Onduparaka Football Club reportedly willing, showing interest, probably calling to have applicants coming in for their top job. That is the hot seat at Onduparaka Football Club or Ababet Greenlight Stadium. What does it mean? I'm talking about the coach or the head coach. Right now, I can tell you that Arua Hill, Onduparaka Football Club, if they have not made an official communication or statement, yeah, they have not made an official communication. But if that turns out to be true, that something has happened, then it means if indeed they have let go their head coach, then it means they will need to bring in somebody who should be able to identify the players he wants to work with, and that should be able to the person should be given enough time. I don't think if there is a lot of money probably to bring in players, but I can tell you West Nile is full of talent, but that cannot even limit them from probably getting players. Some players have run out of contract in other clubs. Onduparaka can still go and get those players, and they still are probably, I believe, through sponsorship deals. Like right now they've been sponsored by both MTN and the lead sponsors are Ababet. So that means that maybe some budget can be put aside to have these to have players signed as in form of a transfer kitty. So whoever they're going to bring will probably be a very good move, but it should be done so early. I think the pandemic also has done probably some positives, giving a lot of time for the clubs to do a kind of reshuffle, to bring in players, to actually make sure these players get acclimatized. Like right now, I don't think if it will be a big deal or a big problem if a club identifies a coach, appoints, announces, and probably go through those processes right now. But if you, before we head in for a break, like I told you earlier, we're going to be going for a break. But before we go for that, the talk of Capone leaving, I think will not be a good one, because right now I think upon leaving played a very huge part for the team's survival in the State Times Uganda Premier League. The best the club can do to first wait for a coach, to appoint a coach. After the appointment, I think it should be the coach to tell if I still want to work with him, or if he's already into loggerheads with the club, I should let go him. Let it be the coach to determine that. I think appointing a permanent manager will help the situations at Onduparaka Football Club. I've believed so much that Onduparaka and Arua Hill probably have come to stay, but how are they going to strategize probably to stay? We'll take a break. When we come back, we will be looking more into some of the national and international stories. But don't forget that Uganda was beaten yesterday by 2 goals to nil by Saudi Arabia. And tonight, there's going to be one big game in the Euro 2020 semi-final. Italy up against Spain. We'll be back after the break. you can as well use those numbers or digits to connect and probably be able to do business with us, to boom up your business, as the show's name can state that it is a boom sports live on Rhino TV with your boy KIMNAZZ. Otherwise, some messages have come through, some comments. I mean, I've loved them so much. Thank you for watching. Continue watching. It's very, very interesting. By the way, like I said, you can do business with us on 0776 223 470. These are some of the numbers that you're going to use. Let me repeat it: 0776 223 470. With these numbers, with this particular number, you're going to be able to do business with us in case of advert, in case of anything. But like I said before, there are quite a number of people who have joined us via the social media, and I'm seeing quite a number of comments here. Sydney Ifiti, thank you very much for being part of the show. He says, great show. Thank you very much, Sydney, for being part of the show. Titus Danny says today is very clean. Oh my goodness, I feel nice with that feedback, though I also love the negative ones too. But thank you very much for being part of the show, Titus Danny. Oloya William, thank you very much. He says very loud and clear in Wadlai sub-county, that is Pakwach district. Thank you, Rhino TV, and thank you very much as well, Engineer Oloya Wilberforce, for being a part of the show. There is a comment here from Ronald Onjima who says, great show. Kim, I'm catching you live from Mbale, from Mbale, all the way from Mbale, Eastern Uganda. He says, may I know the transfer targets of Manchester United? Thank you very much. I'll be responding to that as we head into the international sports. Sanyu Safotach, Sanyu Safotach, thank you very much. She says, very great show. Me loving it, very loud and clear, and I'm starting to love sports. Oh my goodness, we need more ladies, by the way. You can tell a lady to tell a lady, a friend to tell a friend, anyone to tell anyone, or somebody to tell somebody to probably join the show and be part of the Rhino TV family. Freedom Hamid says, I love the show. My man KIMNAZZ, I'm all the way from Yumbe. Yumbe is actually being represented. We thank you very much for representing Yumbe. By the way, I love the people of Yumbe. Like what lie, I've had some connections in those places. I'm very thankful that you guys are so receptive. Otherwise, away from the onduparaka talk. Conclusion about that particular one. Onduparaka Football Club, the best they can do right now is to appoint a head coach, and this head coach should know what to do. Should probably submit a list of players he wants to have, get those players, work with the technical team, the rest of the members, probably the administration or the management, bring in players as early as possible. They have Greenlight Stadium, a very beautiful playing ground. They can train a lot and probably prepare themselves for next season. And again, you never know, in the near future the fans might. I was very, very happy the other time Sports Club Villa did announce that their fans registration is going on. We did see Mbarara City also appointing a man to actually spearhead with the fans leadership. It's a great thing. Across Europe it is happening. The teams that were involved in the European Super League saga have come up to actually apologize on board, so that their voices can be heard at the managerial level, which is a very good thing, and it can be replicated within our region of West Nile. Otherwise, away from that, here comes another big talk at the national level before we actually came up, across a story about Agre Ashaba, the vice chairperson of KCCA. He clearly stated that for him, he 100% blamed the Federation of Uganda Football Association, the competitions committee of under FUFA, who failed to complete the league. Remember, there was this period when Uganda actually did not have football engagement for 3 weeks, particularly in the State and Uganda Premier League. So it was an international break across the world, across the globe, but Uganda did not take part in any event. So probably the question of what happened, why that break? I think at the end of the day, it has brought in very many questions, more than anyone can answer. So Agre Ashaba, who is the vice chairperson for KCCM, clearly stated that for him, he blames the federation for having not ended the league in a sporting way or in a sporting manner. Why did he say that? that break to him was very meaningless. I even agree with him. I probably will ask questions. Maybe one of these days I will be able to have somebody like maybe Leti Mike or Rasul, yes, Edoni Brahan. These guys represent us at the FIFA level, yeah? They represent us. So they should be able, the Moses Kuberes of this world, they should be able to, the Fred Senior Lewandowskis of this world, should be able to let us know what that break was meant for. At the end of the day, the league has been aborted. Of course, the trophy goes to Express, which is a very good thing because for across the world, I'm seeing new champions. You move to Spain, it is Athletic de Madrid. You move to Italy, it is the Scudetto champions, Inter Milan. You move to France, it is Lille. I think across the world things have been so fantastic that the household names have failed to win this time round. The minors are coming out to defy odds, which to me was quite a very good thing. But coming back to Uganda, Express winning it was quite a very beautiful thing. But now it has left us with the question of what next? Should the league continue to be aborted like that? Is the pandemic going to be there forever? Because last season, the same story. Vipers won the league. This was after the league was cancelled due to the pandemic. The merger policy was applied. 75% of the league was done. So the federation made a bold statement, probably a decision to end the league. So this time round, it was the same story. Is it going to continue like that? Should even the smaller teams now work hard to make sure to expect pandemic towards the close of the season and expect themselves to be in the top, probably on top of the log or the summit, so that they can be able to have a rare win or championship? Maybe that is going to be another strategy. But Agri Ashaba, the vice chairperson KCCA, clearly stated that the blame has to be poured on the Federation of Uganda Football Association under the leadership or stewardship of Engineer Moses Magogo, the incumbent, who is also stepping back into that office to run for another term. Of course, he has no opponent in that race, so that means he is now the next FUFA president. That is Engineer Moses Magogo, also the member of parliament for Budiope. Is it North South something? Yeah, but it's quite interesting that from the parliament to the FUFA house, that is what things or how things are going to be like. Patrick Pario is saying, why is the image breaking? It's a good feedback. We're working on that. If in case it is like that, the technical team probably will work and make sure everything is going to be fine, because there's also a network challenge I'm quite sure that you must be experiencing. Adro Sabiri says Onduparaka needs to let go the coaches, identify the players they want to work with. KIMNAZZ, I agree with you. Thank you very much, Sabiri Adro. Is he in Qatar? Is he in Dubai? Wow. He must be Dubai. Yes, thank you very much, Adro Sabiri. By the way, he played football for Arua Public, played for Mbachi, played from Vara. Not Vara, but for Arua Public and Mbachi, if I can remember, if my memory can serve well, and as well Arua Central. He also had a stint with them. I know him very well. He's a personal person and a personal friend. Let's move away from that. Let's look at the Uganda Cranes. Yesterday, beaten 2-0 by Saudi Arabia. Remember, Uganda for the first time in history have gone for an international game, probably outside Africa. That is the team that is preparing to challenge for the Sekafa Challenge Cup from the 17th of July. And right now, I can tell you they are actually on their way back to the country. This is to prepare, because in a fortnight time, we expect to have, that is the Sekafa Challenge Cup, where the Ugandan team will actually be represented and head into Ethiopia for the championship. But the most interesting thing is, in 2 games with Saudi Arabia, Uganda was beaten once 2-0. Then Uganda did play a goalless draw, or a barren draw, in the first game. What does that mean to the country's preparation? What a good opponent or a bad opponent is Saudi Arabia ahead to have a build-up game with as a preparation for the Sekafa Challenge Cup? Was Saudi Arabia the right opponent for these games? I think probably the confidence is coming back, because played a draw. If you look at Saudi Arabia from Asia, of course, they've been the Arab world. They've been doing a great job, but sportingly in football, I think Uganda maybe needed better opponents, but then the best thing move that the federation made probably was to send Uganda out of Africa for the first time. I think that has to be appreciated. Yes, it has to be appreciated. But now the challenge is, was Saudi the right opponent probably to have to play build-up game with? Or they needed a better opponent. Yeah, but anyway, by the mere fact that they were beaten 2-0 also tells how good the Saudi side was. So yesterday it ended goalless. We did see the Saidi Cheunes in that team, the Israel Mugulusis, the Bobosi Biarohangas of this world, quite a number of young players. Abdulaziz Kayondo Vipers, Abdul Karim Watambala is in the team also, Vipers. KCC, quite a number of players like Charles Lukwago, the goalkeeper. Quite a number of players are in that team. So it leaves you with the question of how good and ready is Uganda for these forthcoming games in not in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, but in Ethiopia. That is Bashir Stadium. Otherwise, about Uganda, the last words that I can probably have about Uganda is that it's a positive move that Uganda should now embark on and make those international travels a priority, so that it will expose more players, because I'm seeing many players probably are going to be exposed. When Uganda participated in the AFCON Under-20, Derek Kakoza, formerly of Police, got himself a chance and now is with Anderlecht in the Belgium league. That was a good exposure, and probably he earned something out of it because he was the top scorer. So at the end of the day, when the country takes these players out, I think the best they can do is to really market themselves with good performances. At the end of the day, when they go there, they should be able to replicate those forms and as well make themselves household names so that they can be respected. By the way, you can actually get to our site, that is on Rhino TV 29@gmail.com. That is our mail. Yeah, you'll be able to have a lot more talk or sharing with us. In case of feedbacks, you'll be able to actually drop them. I'm talking about Rhino TV 29@gmail.com. Yeah, that is what it is right now. And you can give us a call on the studio on the line 0776 223 then 470. That is for business. Yeah, that is for business. Otherwise, I can also tell you quite a number of people, more people are actually trying to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rhino TV, and it's getting much more interesting. Of course, we'll be able to follow and as well take your feedbacks into consideration. Let's move away from Uganda, away from Africa, and look into the boom Euro 2020 semi-finals. Tonight, it's Italy up against Spain, a very big game. How good has the Spain team been ahead of this game tonight? Yeah, how good have they been ahead of this game tonight? And what about Italy? Italy have just conceded 1 goal, and this was in the last game they played. It was actually during the extra time, and they made it through. So the question now is Italy going to, is Italy going to replicate the form they started with from the start of the season or the league and probably go to the finals with it? What do you picture in the finals? You can drop your comments there as you actually continue following the show. A good friend of mine yesterday actually did tell me that he sees the final between England and Italy. Then Walter Nyamwa thinks it has to be Italy and Denmark. He thinks Denmark will eject England tomorrow because their game is actually coming tomorrow. So if you look at the team news, Spinazzola is actually been ruled out. Having picked that injury, it's really a bad one for the young lad who was already attracting interest across Europe, probably from the big European powerhouses. But I can tell you the team news has something quite different for the Spain side. Having had the season probably with some players underperforming and others been questioned. Somebody said in 2005 Greece had the same stint. Actually 2004 Euros, Greece had the same stint. Probably they were not the best side. They kept beating teams 1-0 until they won the league, the Euro. So is it going to be the same with Spain? They have gone into the extra times. They have gone for penalty shootout. The last time they played with Croatia, which was the quarter-finals, they did beat them. That was after going, of course, through the penalty shootout. It tells a lot. Yeah, it tells a lot. So are they going to do the same? Are they going to be that too defensive? I was asked a question yesterday I was asked a question, what is making Italy so special? I remember in 1996, things were not so fine for the Italy national side, yeah? Not until when they discovered that all their opponents were actually getting more goals, were attacking them from all angles, and life was getting quite difficult for them. So at the end of the day, they decided, saying, okay, let's come up with a back three. And that was the origin of Catenaccio Calcio. Remember, the Dutch were playing total football, what is called total football. So the Italians derived a kind of strategy to actually stop those free-flowing attackers, to neutralize their, the pressure that they impose in. So at the end of the day, the Italians thought of using a back three, where you will have two sideways as wing backs, then you will have your three central defenders to operate. So in case your side is being attacked, then it means you will have to defend with five at the back. So the wing backs will have to fall back. So if it comes to the attack, then the two wing backs will also pour forward to support the other three men up front to add numbers and make it five in the attack. So that means tactically they become more, they add more bodies up front, and when they defend, they also defend in numbers, because the two wing backs still fall back, but the midfield is always kept compact, and the mobility is also enjoyed in that very moment. And that is how the Italians used to play. Many knew them for playing that ugly football. Yeah, I call it ugly football. But right now, under Roberto Mancini, it all seems to be a very different story, by the way. Yeah, it all seems to be a very different story. Under Roberto Mancini, what I'm getting to enjoy is that the boys are splitting passes. The Jorginhos are enjoying. The Marco Verrattis are splitting passes. They're enjoying the game. The Locatellis, when introduced in the game, their back line is always sealed. You have two experienced central defenders in Leonardo Bonucci and Giorgio Cellini. The boys are doing all that they can. Yeah, they're doing all they can to make sure that no pressure is actually going overriding them. So they keep containing that kind of pressure. At the end of the day, Roberto Mancini, I think, perfectly has executed his job, has made Italy a free team, playing with a lot of expression, enjoying the attack. The Ciro Immobile is firing from all angles. So at the end of the day, it gives them something very unique. It won't be a big surprise if they go on to beat Spain tonight. That is anyway what I think. Maybe you have a different thought about it, but we'll be looking at more into that when we come back from the break. Remember, tomorrow there will be a game between Denmark and England. We'll be digesting that when we come back from the break. Stay tuned. KIMNAZZ remains my name, and you're tuned to Rhino TV. Welcome back from the break. We still continue. Quite a number of people actually getting us live. Of course, I appreciate you as our viewers for today's show. It's getting much more interesting that you are actually tuned and probably getting to enjoy the show more and more. And I appreciate you guys. Fred Akena, thank you very much. The PRO Maroons, or the media person at Maroon, thank you very much for being part of the show. I'm glad that Maroons was not relegated. We still will be working with you. That is Akena Fred in there. He says you are an inspiration, KIMNAZZ. Greetings from Maroon. Thank you very much. I appreciate. Richard Echoku says I joined a little bit late. May you tell me the transfer rumors at onduparaka Football Club as other clubs are busy making amends. That's true. Other clubs are so active making amends. Swali Elias from Dribbler Sport says great show. Keep up the good work, KIMNAZZ. Greetings from the Dribbler work, of course, company. Thank you very much. We also appreciate that you guys have always chosen to be with Rhino TV. We appreciate you guys. It will be so interesting for you to continue doing that. Otherwise, tomorrow, like I said, there's gonna be a big game between Denmark and Italy. Remember 1966, the same team was ejected, at this time by the Den, beaten by the Den, and the Germans also did a massacre, but then they went past the Germans. And now the Denmark side, the last time they played at Wembley, they did beat England 1-0. It was in a friendly game, international friendly game. Christian Eriksen, the man who is going to be missing out in tomorrow's game, scored the only goal through a penalty last time out at Wembley. So this time round, it's gonna be another big one for the English national team. Quite a number of people have spoken, given out their views on whether they think it will be so easy for England. If you look at the English team, yesterday we had a short interview with Harry Maguire, who went ahead saying that the Den team have been inspired by what happened to Christian Eriksen, and he believes that the boys are playing as a team, they're playing as a nation, they're playing as a country to represent. They really want to play for the badge and fight for the badge. So that makes them extra dangerous. So what does it mean for the English national team? The Three Lions also are in a very good shape. Remember having beaten Ukraine 4-0 in their last game out, that was in the quarterfinals. It gives them now the pedigree. It gives them the morale. They have been boosted. They are feeling like no team can beat them, because in the semi-finals, in the quarterfinals, no team actually registered that scoreline. But I can tell you, the English national team now think they can do that. Why not? They have the best attack right now. You talk about Harry Kane, who is firing from all cylinders. You have a very composed Luke Shaw, who is delivering those crosses. There's Jack Grealish, who is doing a great job. You have Raheem Sterling, who deserves a mention every time you talk about the Three Lions team. Then you also have probably a talk about the likes of Jordan Henderson. Yes, remember Jordan Henderson of Liverpool was introduced in the game. He scored a goal. So that midfield department that comprises of Calvin Phillips of Leeds United and Declan Rice of West Ham United has given them probably the powers, the expression, the feeling that yes, we can do it. So that leaves England with something very special ahead of tomorrow's game. But that does not mean they will find it so easy against the Den. Remember what the Den did against the Czech Republic side. After having won their game prior to the Czech Republic game, many were talking about the Patrick Schick fantastic strike against Scotland in the group stage. Nobody expected the Czech side to actually go be symbolic, but they disorganized them, made them so symbolic, and probably picked that win. Got 2 goals in the first half, and the story became a history. So that tells you how the Den team can actually disorganize you. It really gives a lot for them to look into. Quite a number of viewers are also watching the show. Of course, afterwards, on West Nile website, you can actually also get a lot of news, a lot of information, of course, by simply going to www.westnileweb.com. You are going to be in business. You are going to read, probably uncover the uncovered story that is happening within our region and even beyond. West Nile Web gives you all that. It's an online platform, and you'll always read the best paper and probably the best stories that have been hugely investigated and thoroughly digested. You're going to be getting them right there on West Nile Web. Just log on to the site, that is www.westnileweb.com. You're going to be so much in business. Otherwise, looking at some few transfer stories, I'm seeing some people already dropping their comments here this time around. I mean predictions, predictions for the Denmark-England game. Then you also have the Spain-Italy game tonight, all 10 p.m. Of course, then the finals will be on 11th. So it tells a lot about what we expect. But then the predictions are coming through. I'm seeing one new, probably the freshest, coming through, and I'll be able to give that out to you in a very short while. A very good friend of mine just dropped in a prediction, thinking that Spain will actually pull a shock against Italy tonight. Do you see that coming? Yes, no, you have the best answers right there. Let's look at the transfers. The transfer is heating up, and every time I talk about transfers, most cases there is a tendency, because you have over billions and billions of clubs worldwide, so I can't choose any club to talk about, but then your submissions will give me, or your comments will give me the direction of the talk. Somebody here, what is the name? Of course, somebody did ask a question about Manchester United. Let me check through the name, who that person was. Yes, that was Ronald Unzima. Thank you very much. Ronald Onzima wants to know the transfer news at Manchester United. A lot of things are happening at Manchester United. They did bring in Tom Heaton, from the former Burnley goalkeeper. Now he's been a free agent. He has been signed on Bosman at Manchester United, but he's simply going to be an understudy to David De Gea, who yesterday openly said that he's going to fight for his position as the #1 custodian at Old Trafford. Then Dean Henderson is his understudy, of course. They've been rubbing shoulders. Then you have Lee Grant, 38 years of age, and he has renewed his contract, so he has 1 year on his deal, so that means he's still going to be right there at the helm at Old Trafford, so that has not to be much dwelled on. What about the defense? Remember, Manchester United are also looking at Rafael Varane. According to reports, they are into advanced stages of the talks now, having verbally agreed to join Manchester United. Remember, they play with Le Bleu, that is the French national team, together with Paul Labile Pogba, who is one of the players expected to stay at Old Trafford this season. Matches the rumors of him being linked to the moves away, but Paul Pogba seems to be a comfortable man right now to represent United in the red colors again. But that already is making life so easy for Rafael Varane to interestingly push through a deal to Manchester United. Now what makes it much more interesting is that United are willing to submit a bid of £50 million, what Real Madrid actually initially did put in as an asking price for Rafael Varane. So does it mean his release clause is being activated? Is something that we are looking forward to. They brought in Jadon Sancho, Jadon Sancho from Signal Iduna Park, that is Borussia Dortmund, for £73 million. He's doing great for England. Of course, the last game against Ukraine, he had a very fantastic performance. So United fans probably had the glimpse of what he will bring to Old Trafford. Still in the transfers about Manchester United, they have talked about Eduardo Camavinga. Eduardo Camavinga plays for Rhino in the French League R. So that already tells you, he's only 18 years of age. That tells you how United are also looking at the present and at the future at the same time. So that is the state right now. Somebody is very much interested in knowing what exactly is happening at Arsenal Football Club. At Arsenal Football Club, there is a lot happening. Remember, they did agree a fee with Benfica for that is Nuno Tavares. That means Nuno Tavares anytime might become a player for Arsenal Football Club. So the talk right now is about a central defender called Eder Militao, whom Liverpool also showed interest in, but Arsenal Football Club have not left themselves out. Yesterday, quite a number of big talks came about Arsenal Football Club. Matteo Honduzi is at the verge of leaving the club after agreeing personal terms with Olympique Marseille. He has agreed personal terms with French Liga outfit that is Olympic Marseille. So that leaves Arsenal with the option of William Saliba. What is going on with William Saliba? They signed him from Saint-Etienne for £27 million and loaned back, finished the season, came back and he didn't prove himself. But there seems to be an option given to him to either choose between signing or penning a new contract and going on loan, or staying there and sitting on bench to be an understudy until next season that he can be graduated as a serious starter in that Arsenal team. So he seems to be at the verge of choosing the first, probably to make a move away from Arsenal Football Club. He thinks maybe the future does not look bright for him at Emirates Stadium. Let's talk about Liverpool Football Club. A lot is happening at Liverpool Football Club. They were a little bit quiet in the transfers, in the transfer market. They went a little bit quiet, but I can tell you that Liverpool are one of the sides so serious. They did agree a fee for Ibrahima Konate. Somebody asked me last season why Liverpool will not win the Premier League or defend it. I did say by the fact that Wijnaldum went out injured. I mean not Wijnaldum, but Virgil van Dijk went out injured and he was not being replaced. That was enough, because defenders win for you the league, strikers win matches. So you'll get to understand that if you have a backline that concedes goals, probably no command from the backline. Joel Matip stayed much in the hospital. You had a certain Joe Gomez, very famous in the hospitals. Virgil van Dijk was already out. So that left Liverpool with even option of bringing in, had to shift the man that is Jordan Henderson, their captain, to play in the back line, and you saw what exactly happened. So a lot of people, blames were poured on Becca Alisson at the end of the day, but the back line was poor. Jordan Henderson playing as a central defender, oh my God, that was a big gamble. So at the end of the day, it never worked out. I think Liverpool brought in Ozan Kabak, but he also again did not, he's a very reckless player. He keeps picking cards every now and then. So it left Liverpool with a very huge task. So at the end of the day, did they go far? No. Life was extremely very hard for Liverpool Football Club. Let's talk about Chelsea Football Club. As we prepare to end the show, we go to Chelsea Football Club. A lot of things are happening at Chelsea Football Club. You realize that the boss of the team, that is Roman Abramovich, the Russian billionaire, is very much interested in bringing in a striker. They have so much known that getting those goals is going to be the order of the day for you to win matches, probably under the new ownership, the stewardship of Thomas Tuchel. They think that Thomas Tuchel can't be that man to spearhead the team to the Premier League win after last winning it like 10 seasons back. So that, 7 seasons back, that leaves Chelsea with the hope, or probably a chance of a kind of reshuffle at the attack. Right now, Christian Pulisic, good player. Timo Werner, good player, but is he getting the goals? No. You talk about Tammy Abraham, symbolic. The guy is getting lost, confused. Talk about Mason Mount, fantastic, but he's not that goal scorer you're going to rely on. He is a midfielder. He is that player who will pick you the ball and probably give you the last pass. What about Timo Werner? What about Kai Havertz? Very good player, but he's still adjusting to the physical nature of the Premier League. At the end of the day, he needs to be given more time. You cannot think that he's going to. That is why Chelsea Football Club have been linked with a move for former Red Bull Salzburg midfielder, attacker or striker, Erling Braut Haaland, who now plays at Signal Iduna Park with Borussia Dortmund. And he seems interested in making that move. When Manchester United announced the signing or the capture of the verbal, the agreement in principle for Jadon Sancho, the father to Erling Braut Haaland did put in or react to it and said, what if my son does the same? Maybe that is already a big hint that Chelsea might complete the deal, because the boss Roman Abramovich seems ready and willing to submit a bid of 154 million pounds. Matches Dortmund are demanding for 170 million pounds. I believe a talk can be made, probably an agreement can be reached. Quite a number of comments have come through. Of course, we are counting down to end the show, but there are a lot more transfer stories that I feel I should be able to bring to your attention before we leave, probably move off the studio. I'm very much thankful to you for being part of the Rhino TV Boom Sports Show. It will be coming your way every single Monday to Friday, but Saturday you have the Saturday edition, which is also going to be another big one. Looking at some of the transfer stories this very morning, there seems to be a serious interest in Borussia Dortmund midfielder Jude Bellingham, who formerly played for Birmingham City, now with Borussia Dortmund, and is attracting interest from Liverpool Football Club. Yes, I think this probably is going to be a very good move for Liverpool Football Club. 18 years of age, he has proved himself very confident. He has announced himself in the German Bundesliga. The guy has never disappointed. Liverpool will actually there will be a blessing if they get him through. Spain defender Sergio Ramos at 35 actually will have a medical at Paris Saint-Germain at Parc des Princes tomorrow. Yeah, he will have medical tomorrow because he has agreed on a 2-year deal with Paris Saint-Germain after leaving Real Madrid. Manchester United are willing to offer Rafa Varane £50 million, then 25 for Eduardo Camavinga of Rhino. Bayern Munich chief Oliver Kahn has actually come up to say that they will actually have to show interest in one player. That is the man from Inter Milan, Lautaro Martinez. Remember, I was being linked with the move to Barcelona, but the deal did not come to fruition. And at the end of the day, he is still in the Copa America with the Argentina national team. They are doing the job there. Tottenham Hotspurs have held talks over a move for Southampton and Denmark defender Jannik Vestergaard, who has been one of the best in the Euro 2020. Athletic de Madrid, as a French striker Antoine Griezmann actually remains a realistic option for Manchester City this summer. They think the Barcelona attacker, that is Antoine Griezmann, can still make that move. He's a former Athletic de Madrid player, but Manchester United manager Pep Guardiola also has his reservations. Yeah, whether to destroy Barcelona by signing players from there. My time is up. I surely can't go beyond this, but I want to appreciate you. I want to say thank you very much. It has been so nice joining me via the online stream and YouTube and all that. Of course, West Nile has been covered with a lot of big stories, and this morning you were able to get all that from Rhino TV. And in case of any developments, as far as sports is concerned, you will catch us tomorrow. And remember, we don't only capture football. We do rugby, we do tennis, we do what in local language, probably in Lubarati, is called Opangi. That is golf. We also do uncover it as well to you. So keep following us via all platforms, and we will always continue to be glad to be with you. KIMNAZZ remains my name. Sydney Ifiti, thank you very much for being part of the show. Of course, the groundsman, and I also want to say thank you very much the producer for the show, that is the man himself, Kenneth. Thank you very much. The likes of Babu Michael, we appreciate. Thank you very much. Engineer Oloya Williams, Otelu Vegas, we appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Sanyu Doris Trinity, we appreciate. Thank you very much for keeping it. Adibo Gilbert, you've been a little bit quiet. Yesterday I tried reaching you. I'm quite sure you'll be able to get back to me because we are one. I know what it means. Otherwise, for those of you who are celebrating birthdays today, happy birthday. And again tomorrow. Ciao.